Welcome to the Life Doula Podcast, where we explore stories of resilience, triumph, and the incredible human spirit. I'm your host, Charity, and today we have a truly inspiring episode for you. Our guest today is a living testament to the power of hope, determination, and medical miracles. He is one of the rare who have triumphed over pancreatic cancer, often considered one of the most unforgiving diagnoses. His journey from diagnosis to recovery is nothing short of extraordinary. In this inspiring episode, you will hear about the moments that challenged him the most, the treatments he underwent, and the mindset that kept him going. His story is a beacon of hope for anyone facing a difficult journey. So sit with us as we dive deep into this remarkable testimony of courage, resilience, and survival against odds. You don't want to miss this. Before I start, I really want to give everyone a backdrop of how this miraculous man and I met. I think we met during the height of the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken. And since then, we were just communicating through, I think, Instagram. And we just discovered some connections between us, and little did we know we were in the same circle, and we will tell you more about that. But please welcome in today's episode of Life Doula, Larry Wayne Olaguir. Not the father. Thank you for guesting. Could you walk us through the moment when you first received your diagnosis? Because as I recall, you lived a pretty healthy life in terms of movement and physical activities and all that.
Yes. I was actually very active physically. Prior to that, prior to the diagnosis, I was already experiencing pain in my abdomen probably 3 years prior to being diagnosed.
Wow.
It was in 2018, so that was around mid-2018 when I first experienced the pain, and then I just kept it at the back of my mind because I thought
I was
that...
gonna say you ignored it.
No, I didn't ignore it. I kept track of pain levels and everything. I just didn't mind it that much at that time. But it was around November 2018. I was actually preparing for a 100-kilometer ultramarathon over the weekend. When I can no longer tolerate the pain, so I had to be taken to the hospital. Once I was treated, diagnosed there, they didn't see anything. So it was treated as a gastrointestinal problem. Yeah. So the following day, I was discharged. And then over the weekend, I ran the 100-kilometer ultramarathon.
With pain or with no pain?
At the start, I didn't experience pain. But during when I think it was around 60 or 70 kilometers, I felt a very sharp and burning pain in my abdomen, and I started throwing up. So from that point up until the finish line, I was throwing up.
You felt this sharp pain, and yet
Yeah, I finished the...
you finished the
race,
marathon. Wow. 100 kilometers.
100 kilometers, yeah. When I got home, the pain was gone again. It was on and off.
On and off.
Yeah. It's like every month I will have the same pain for a couple of days and then it will be gone.
Parang it's like episodes
Yeah.
of pains coming and going.
Yes. And then come 2021, so after my birthday, It was already in pandemic. So around January, I felt the same pain I felt last November 2018. But this time, it was more intense. So I had it checked again. The doctor saw something, so he asked me to go to a specialist to have it ultrasound and then MRI. And then a couple of weeks after that, we had the result. And then he told me that I have late stage pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
As blatant as that.
Late stage pancreatic cancer. There are many types of cancers. However, for the understanding of our audience, pancreatic cancer, when detected, is
It's
normally
already
at this late stage.
Stage 3 or stage 4 already.
Specifically, what was the stage when you were diagnosed?
It was 3B.
Okay.
It was 3B when I was diagnosed.
How did you feel?
It was very surreal. When I heard the word cancer, after that, all I heard was ringing. So I have to refocus myself. I didn't tell my family that I was having the same pain again and that I was going to the doctor to have it checked. So no one knew, only me. So I asked the doctor if I can have a second opinion. So I had a second opinion 2 weeks after. So
same diagnosis.
Same diagnosis. I have pancreatic cancer. This is a new doctor now. I asked her what's her treatment plan, how will we approach this, and all of those things. It was very specific. The initial plan was to do a Whipple.
Whipple procedure?
Yeah. It is a very risky and very invasive procedure. She said that if it can be removed, then we will remove it before we go through the radiation, chemotherapy, and all of those things. But when we did another MRI, the tumors, actually there were two, a 6 cm and a 4 cm. It was too attached to the tissue surrounding the pancreas, so no Whipple for me.
So you were not qualified to go through Whipple procedure. I just want to state that a Whipple procedure normally lasts for 12 hours. It's also one of the most expensive surgery.
And very dangerous.
Yes.
Very bloody surgery.
So normally when you have pancreatic cancer, the first line of treatment is really Whipple. And there are very few surgeons in the country who can do that. Normally, a hepatobiliary oncology surgeon will do that. But what you're saying was the doctors ruled out Whipple because of the location.
Location of the tumor, yeah.
Okay.
Because she said that they will have to scrape out a very large portion of my abdomen.
Okay. I visualized that really, really well. It was pandemic. You were not qualified to do Whipple. What were the challenges that you experienced during the whole treatment period? Because I understand you went through chemo and radiation, right?
Yes. It was a radiation first, so 5 days straight radiation. And then after that, I have to do weeks of chemotherapy, multiple days per week. That's how aggressive the treatment was.
Yes.
Because we couldn't do the Whipple. And yes, it was a pandemic. It was at the height of the pandemic when the cases were soaring, and I was actually excited to start the treatment because I like trying out new things. That's the only reason why I was excited. I like trying out new things. I've seen the movies, TV, how a cancer treatment is being portrayed. But when it was my time to actually do it,
Okay. Hindi ka na excited.
it was night and day. First day of radiation, I don't want to do the second day.
Wow.
It was a very targeted three laser radiation on my abdomen. It was very hot. I actually had the second day on the fourth day.
So,
Excitement gone.
excitement gone.
When I finished the radiation, thankfully, I'm now having second thoughts on doing the chemo because my onco said that if radiation is that bad, chemo will be worse because we'll be doing 3 day
Yeah.
a week session, and it will run for, initially we're doing it for I think 3 weeks, so that's 9 sessions in 15 days.
Normally, cancer in the stomach area and organs in the stomach area, the chemotherapy, length of chemotherapy goes on for 3 days. Some would have it for 5 days. As compared to the other chemotherapy sessions where you do it for 4 or 6 hours. Larry, what were the particular challenges? I know you had a difficult time eating, you couldn't hold down on your food, and I remember there was a point where you could only take liquids.
Yes, I was actually blending everything that I have to eat. From rice to chicken to vegetables, it has to be blended.
Because?
If my body felt some sort of solid, I will throw it up within 5 minutes. If you're doing my food, so this is a blender, normal size, it will be 1/4 food, 3/4 water.
Wow. Yeah, I recall there were just times when you would take not even smoothies, but juices. Pure juice, water, Ningxia, I remember you could keep it down.
With that type of diet, I was able to at least have some sort of nutrition which my body's tolerating.
Okay.
So I'm not throwing up once in a while.
So you were taking your nutrition from juices,
Yes.
vegetables, fruits, and all of that.
Anything that can be blended. That's why it was actually a very bad time to experiment on food. Take note, guys. Blending chicken, it's like you're eating sand. The texture is sand. So don't try it.
That's the first time I've ever heard blending chicken, as in really
Yeah, chicken breast, you have it just boiled it, and then chop it up, put in the blender, put water, blend it.
and that's it.
That's it.
the source of your protein right there. Okay.
And still, the texture, it still feels like drinking sand.
Now we can laugh about it. But speaking about laugh, when Larry and I would talk about the hardships, this is what I noticed from you. He will always find a way to laugh about something. He will always insert a joke in our conversation, right? So did that help you cope? You know, coming up with all these funny stories, did that help you cope?
Yes. I mean, cancer, the treatment, even when I had COVID, it took out a lot from me. So what was left was my sarcasm. So that
And I
helped
thought
me.
he was being funny. He was being sarcastic. Okay.
Yeah, that actually helped me, made fun of my situation, and it somehow eases the pain that I was feeling. Of course, cancer is nothing to joke about, but if you're joking about your cancer, then I think you have a leeway of laughing about it. So I had that feeling that if I don't think of it that way, then the feeling physically will be heavy. Emotionally, it will be heavy. Mentally, which is the last thing that you don't want to lose, it will be heavy as well. Yeah, because when you have cancer, you only have two constants, um, a choice and a chance. Those two are your only constants when you have cancer, because everything else it changes. It goes away. It's being replaced by something else. But the choice that you have on how you will go about the treatment, how you will live your life with cancer, and the chances that you'll take, the chances that you'll have each day. Those are constant things that you will have. It won't be gone. It won't even change. It will be up to you. Um, because I think, at least for me, when I was undergoing the treatment, and it was becoming very, very hard. This thing between my ears, it became a very scary place.
Yeah.
Uh,
I understand what you mean.
Especially when I had COVID, so I have to be isolated in my sister's house. My only companion was Netflix.
So if you're not watching Netflix, it's you and your thoughts and your mind, and it gets dark.
Very dark. If Freddy Krueger went into my head, he will think of his life choices. It's that bad.
I laugh about it now, but when Larry and I would hang up the phone or when we would stop texting, I worry about how he really feels after all the jokes, after all the quote unquote sarcasm. But Larry, I also know that you chose that disposition for the sake of your mother.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Um, like I mentioned earlier, uh, I didn't really want to tell my family that I have cancer, that I'm undergoing treatment. But when I was about to finish the radiation, I know that my mom will be curious where I'm going every day.
And it's pandemic.
And it's pandemic. So, what are you doing? That's why I chose to tell them that every afternoon when I go out, I go to the hospital to undergo radiation because I have cancer. Those were the exact words. And then I was just
in the room?
yeah, I was just actually waiting for her to ask me again, "You have cancer?" Something like that. But she actually didn't. The first thing she asked me was, "Paano ka nagkaroon ng cancer?" I just told her, I don't know. I think I won the lottery for cancer, and that's it. I'm doing the treatment. I did the treatment for her because, for the simple reason that I really love my mom. I know when a parent loses her kid before losing their own life, it's very painful, and I don't want my mom to experience that. Just for the simple fact.
I remember asking you when things were getting really, really hard. I remember reminding you that you have an option to stop. And you said, I can't do that because I need to do this for my mom, for my family, because they're all rooting for me. And so therefore I have to keep on trying. You remember that conversation? So,
My mom was actually there. That's why during that time, I was talking very softly because she might hear. Yeah.
I could very well resonate with that because I have my own kids. And I remember, off topic, when my sister died, my dad was crying and said, a parent should never bury their children. So when you told me about this, it totally resonated with me. Larry, it was hard, it was tough. Yes, you were doing it for your family. Was there ever a point you felt like just giving up, just quitting? It's tough.
Yeah, of course. I actually began second guessing myself um, when it started to metastasize to my stomach and to my liver. Because okay, we're doing the treatment. I'm doing everything that I should be doing. And yet it was progressing. It's the stage 4 still there in the pancreas, and then my stomach had stage 2. My liver got stage 2 as well. So I'm really not sure what's happening already. So the treatment turned from bad to worse.
Yes.
So the frequency of the chemotherapy became more.
Intense.
Initially, we were just doing 4 medicines for the chemo cocktail. Now it became 6. It's like I was being burned alive during chemo.
I just want to pause and say there are different stages in cancer. The stages would vary depending on the cancer type. The minute there is a metastasis, even if it's distant, meaning it's in a different location in your body, your staging automatically becomes 4. That's how the staging is determined. If there is metastasis, you automatically become stage 4. And while we advise cancer patients not to dwell on the stage 4 because it's really for the doctors, Larry just mentioned something really significant. When you have advanced cancer, the number of chemo drugs used on you can go from double agent to 4, or in this case, 6, because there's chemo drugs for the pancreas, for the abdomen, and for the liver. So from a prognosis standpoint, it looked really bad, right? And that was the point when you just feel like,
Let's just stop all of this. It's becoming more expensive as well. Yeah, my body is deteriorating. The medical bills are piling. I'm not getting any better. I was already thinking of stopping. Or I mentioned it to my mom because every night after my chemo, she's massaging my chest and my back. So when she was doing that, I told her that, tigil na natin, hindi ko na kaya. But still laughing about it. I'm trying to lighten the mood because I know that she will just tell me if I can no longer do the treatment. Let's just pray to God that things will get better, or
without treatment.
yeah, or God will give me more strength or something like that. Every night before I pass out to sleep, I'm always thinking of what are my immediate options already. Do I have to talk to my lawyer for the will or something? Do I have to just stop showing up at the hospital? do I just eat whatever I want, whether I
Whether it's
vomit or
good for
not?
you
Yeah.
or not, yeah.
Because if I'll be dying soon, I want to go out on my own terms. But still, the back of my mind, I was thinking of my mom. So maximum effort, just what Deadpool says, maximum effort. I just have to do it. So I do it. But there were a couple of times when I was really feeling very bad after a chemo.
Yeah.
And the puking never stops. And it's like I'm burning from fever. I thought of ending myself already.
Wow.
I never mentioned it to you because you will just berate me. But I thought of it probably 2 or 3 times when it happened. Whenever I think of that, I just think of this passage that I read from a book somewhere, that the only legacy that you will leave is how you live your life and how you will live before you die. So, will that be my legacy? To just end it all because it became very hard. I became more focused after that, after the last thought of me ending myself. I became more focused on making myself stronger, healthier, so that I can do the treatment better.
Okay.
I was already thinking, how do I make my mental state better each time? Although I know for a fact that uh, there's no way you can make your mental state better when you are already deteriorating internally.
It's hard to shift
Yeah.
your state of mind and convince yourself that you're going to be better, especially when you are in pain. And for
Yes.
the most part, I recall, you were in pain.
Yes, 95% of the time.
95% of the time, Larry was in pain. And yet, what I also noticed from him, other than his sarcasm, his ability to laugh about things, was also your mental tenacity. You really, I think, like what you said, you found ways to be able to strengthen your mind so that when the next treatment comes and it becomes really hard again, you will be able to fight it back,
Yeah.
right?
I try my best to fight it back.
I say the beautiful thing about Larry going into treatment, I know that he's still okay because he was very active on social media.
Yeah, I am just trying to take my mind off things. That was one of my the things that I did to take my mind off things, and then of course watching movies, series, and then during treatment I always bring my earphones with me because it helps take my mind off the pain. There was this one time that I forgot to bring my earphones. That was a mistake that I never did again.
What do you listen to when you have your earphones with you?
I actually listen to different types of music, but during chemo, I'm listening to Eminem.
Eminem
Yeah,
talaga.
Eminem. Mostly the beat, not the words. It's like my heart can follow the beat because I actually had a problem with my heart as well during treatment. I was being given beta blockers
Okay.
before I start chemo because my BP, my resting heart rate, it's at 160 over 100, 170 over 120. That's
Wow.
resting.
Wow.
That's why they have to give me beta blockers to lower my heart rate and lower my BP before doing the chemo.
There are chemo drugs that really affects
Yes.
your blood pressure and your heart, right? Larry, what were the lifestyle changes and practices that you adopted that contributed to your recovery?
I think it's not really a lifestyle change, but it's more of a continuity
Of what you were doing.
of what I was doing. There was some changes during the treatment because I wasn't eating solid foods. I cannot eat processed meat. Up until now, I'm not eating processed meats anymore.
Yay.
Yeah. So no more bacon, no more ham, those things. And it's sad, especially for bacon. But there were also food that I can no longer, I can still eat, but my stomach can no longer
Rejects.
function the same way it should be functioning. It's not digesting some foods already. I think those are the only changes, but everything else, it's actually the same from before I was diagnosed with cancer, because I already had a change in my nutrition when prior to doing endurance running. I changed my diet before that. Not actually diet, but my overall nutrition.
Okay.
Because I needed it
For
for the sport. And I was doing boxing then as well. So I really need to um, change. The shift in the nutrition, it really started from there.
Okay.
And then it just changed somewhat when I was doing the treatment. Yeah. And then it went back to that.
Larry, can you say that part of the reasons why you survived pancreatic cancer was the fact that you led a healthy lifestyle before even you got sick?
I think that helped because sports taught me resilience. It helped with my mental toughness, and it really helped, gave me a stronger body
Okay.
than other people who are undergoing treatment. But still the same. Because during treatment, I lost 40 pounds. I was a lean 190 prior to being diagnosed. And during treatment, I even go to, I think, 145.
Wow.
That's the lightest that I weighed,
You've
145.
ever been.
Yeah.
It is so hard for a cancer warrior to convince oneself that they're gonna get better. Whether you're stage 1, stage 2, the fear of not surviving is there.
Yeah.
But pancreatic cancer, it's like 10 times harder. And the pain was just constant. And I know, like, let's take, for example, a toothache. People will say when you have a toothache, it affects your whole body. Even if it's just here, you feel like your head is pounding. What more the pain that you went through? So every time you undergo through this severe, intense pain, what exactly goes in your mind?
Why won't I just die?
You said that with a smile, but it is so true.
Yeah. It's that painful. And to think that I cannot be given or I cannot take oral pain meds because my liver is already being damaged as well with stage 2 liver cancer. So the only pain meds that I can tolerate is morphine, which cannot be given to me all of the time. Yeah. I was actually asked if I want a PCM, a patient-controlled monitor for the morphine. I told them no because morphine is addictive. So I just have to tolerate it by not thinking about it. But it's hard. But that's hard. It's like seeing yourself being stabbed and not feeling the knife on your body. It's something like that. And I'm not kidding. That's how painful it was. Most of the time, when it becomes that painful, I just go to fetal position, go to the CR to throw up. I just do those things, and then hope that I just pass out from the pain so that I won't feel it anymore.
I recall there was a conversation Larry and I were having, and he was trying to recall the pain of the previous night. And he said, it felt like I was crawling to reach the bathroom.
Yeah,
And vividly, I could really see him crawling because I've had a taste of the same pain. And you really wish that just for even a second, the pain will go away. I mean, just for a little bit, it'll go away, right? But the reason why we're describing all of this in a very vivid fashion is the good news, a couple of years after and up to now, you're already cancer-free.
Yes. I was declared in remission only last year. Yeah, last year.
Yes.
Yes, last year. I was declared in remission last year, February last year. So hooray, no more treatment. That's actually the first thing that came to my mind. Yes, no more treatment. It was a very big sigh of relief because the pain, it's still there, but it's no longer that painful, and it's not even periodic anymore. So that's good. And then the pain from the treatment, it won't be back anymore.
That's actually the punchline in this episode, is that no matter how difficult pancreatic cancer was, you actually went through it. You came out of it stronger. And I remember the time when you told me that you were cancer-free, and it was like, I don't know, early Christmas. It's a gift, right? And I remember that every time your mother would celebrate her birthday, you would still find a way to cook.
Yes.
Or to make something for her.
Even during when I was undergoing treatment.
Yes. Why did you do that?
Because I don't know when I will go, if that will be the last time that I'll be able to cook for her or something like that. So that's my way of saying thank you for everything. I know it's hard for you as well. If it's hard for me, it's hard for you as well. And there was actually a time when I saw her almost broken. I think this was around 2022 when the doctor told me, because the treatment is not even deteriorating the progress of my cancer. The doctor told me that I probably might have only 4 to 12 months. I asked her, okay, 4 to 12 months. If I stop, what will happen? If I go, what will happen? She told me, if you stop, then we'll go into palliative care. If you go, then there's a chance that you might be gone the next day after treatment. It's a lose-lose situation for me. Mm-hmm. So I just chose the harder path, the one that I've been doing for the past couple of years, which is undergoing the treatment.
Yeah.
Because that's at least on that part, that's the pain that I know. the pain of not doing the treatment anymore and still having the cancer, that will be new pain to me.
Okay.
So I'll just do the pain that I know.
Yes.
So I continued, and then
It wasn't very easy because I know at some point during your treatment, you actually went into comatose
yes,
because of chemotherapy.
yes,
And yet, the first thing he said to me was, "It's okay, I'm alive."
yeah. When I came back, I think my message to you was, sorry, I was gone for a while. I was in coma, but I'm okay now.
It was delivered to me like, he went on a trip. uh, you know how when you don't hear from your friends and all of a sudden he's back. He wasn't on social media and he said, sorry, because I kept sending him messages and he wasn't reading it. And finally when he did, he said, sorry, I was gone for a while. I went into coma.
And don't forget the laughing emoji with the
Yes.
tear. Yeah.
Yes. That was exactly the emoji. But he said, but now I'm back with the emoji of crying and laughing. So you always chose the hard stuff because in cancer, a lot of times it's a choice between hard and harder.
Yeah.
Right? There's not like an option of something in between that's good. But Larry, our message to our audience is, if you fix your mind and you're willing to go through the hard stuff, a miracle can await you,
Yes.
right? And you had a lot of dark moments, but you always chose to believe that somewhere, somehow, there might be a miracle for me. I want to insert this because I think this is very important for the healing. At some point, love happened.
Yes.
Kailangan talagang sabihin. And I recall it was like a difficult decision for both of you because you didn't want to get into the relationship because of your situation. Mm-hmm. And she was honest enough to say, I don't know if I can do this knowing that I can lose you anytime. Right?
Yes.
Chinismis ko na yung love story niya. But the beautiful thing here is you both decided to say, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yes. Funny story. I actually told her that if we want to be in this relationship, she has to court me.
Kapal. Siya na yung may sakit.
Yeah, because I cannot do the courting because I am doing treatment, I'm weak and whatnot. But of course, that was a joke. The ending of the joke is that I was the one who asked her, ano, gusto mo tayo na? And when she said yes, it's like a reversal of roles.
Wow. And from then on, actually, Larry started traveling because the pandemic was easing up. In between treatments, you guys would go to different places. And so I ask you with this question. Did love help you heal?
Yes, in some way. It helped with my emotional state, and it helped lighten my mental state as well.
And I
So,
guess it also gave you a lot of reasons, more reasons
more
to
reasons
live.
to live, yeah, more reasons to fight. It's like a new piece of armor that I can wear when I go through the battle of chemo. I think it's more of like that. If you have more reasons to undergo treatment to fight cancer, it won't make it easier. or it won't make it easy, but it will somehow ease up the pain.
Looking back, are there any specific lessons or wisdom that you've gained from this experience that you'd like to share to our audience who are listening, who are either taking care of someone with pancreatic cancer or any similar bad prognosis?
It always starts with the choice. Either choose to accept it or choose not to. If you choose to accept the prognosis, you have now an option to choose whether to undergo the treatment or not. It's like it will be an ongoing battle of choices.
Every day you will have to choose.
It won't be easy, but I'm telling you, you control everything because you have the choice to of what you want to do. It's not being held by anyone. It's not based on what the doctor says. It's not even based on how the people around you feel. It's based on your choice of what you want to do.
And the choice here includes attitude, perspective, what you believe in.
Yes, it actually encompasses everything. How you think, how you feel, how you approach things, how you deal with what's going on with your body, dealing with people around you, because not everyone knows how to interact with people who have cancer. They can send their sympathies, they can empathize. But most of the time, this is based on my experience, most of the time, cancer patients, they're being overloaded by people who are empathizing that it doesn't feel real to them anymore.
Okay.
It's like becoming a script. Oh, you have cancer, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. It's becoming a script to them that they no longer feel it. Somehow, how you handle those things as well. It's, you have to have a clear head before doing your, making a choice when you are undergoing cancer treatment or when you are being diagnosed with cancer.
So clarity of mind and being intentional with how you approach your cancer journey is what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're already beaten, talo ka na. Talo ka talaga.
Yeah, before you even started the fight, you already lose. It's like it's a cliche. Life's a race. So it's the same thing when you're undergoing treatment. It's a race to being sick with cancer to being in remission. But this time, you're not racing against time. You are racing against the road. Because imagine the road being crumbling,
yeah.
crumbling behind you. So what will be the road you'll be stepping on to finish the race? It's something like that.
Whew, this is a heavy topic, but I think you all get the message. While in cancer, you will have grim prognosis. You still have a choice of what you want to believe in. And this time, Larry chose that if he continues to undergo treatment, somewhere, somehow, a miracle may happen.
Yes.
Right? So that's the choice that you made. Larry, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and for people who want to reach out to you. I know that you're open in supporting other cancer patients. How can they reach you?
You can message me in Instagram. It's my handle there is running_Nimrod. So that's NIMROD. So that's my Instagram handle. You can message me there. I usually check even message requests. So I
Yes,
can see your messages.
he's more on Instagram than
Yeah,
on
than on
Facebook.
Facebook.
And by the way, I just want to say that Larry, the whole time he was undergoing treatment, you were also working from
Yes.
home, right? So we pretty much have the same journey. So Larry, thank you so much. And for all your support to the Better Days community, thank you, thank you, thank you. So as we wrap up today's episode, we reflect on the incredible journey shared by our brave guest, a rare survivor of pancreatic cancer. Yes, you heard it right, pancreatic cancer. And here are the key takeaways from his powerful story. Resilience in the face of adversity. Our guest story highlights the immense strength and determination it takes to battle stage 4 pancreatic cancer. His journey is a testament to the human spirit's resilience. The importance of support system, his family throughout his treatment, he emphasized how crucial a strong support network of friends and family and medical professionals was in bolstering his spirit and aiding his recovery. Embracing a positive mindset. One of the most striking aspects of his story is his very strong mental health. I mean, not that he did not waver or he didn't feel hopeless at some point, but he would always go back and remain focused on the positive aspects that helps him navigate his journey. The power of believing in love, whether in the person that he is with right now, or in the power of the love of his family and the power of the love of God. So Larry illuminated that in the power of love, both giving and receiving can make miracles happen. His belief in the transformative power of love provided him with strength, comfort, and a profound sense of purpose. And lastly, finding purpose and giving back. In facing this life-threatening illness, he discovered a new purpose. Raising awareness about pancreatic cancer. I know that he's supporting other cancer patients with similar battles, and his dedication to giving back is truly, truly inspiring. Remember, if you are someone you know is going through a tough journey, know that you're not alone. You are never alone. Reach out, stay informed, and keep hope alive. If you found his story as moving as we did, please consider sharing this episode with your loved ones and anyone who might benefit from hearing such an inspiring story. Thank you for joining us on this episode on the Life Doula Podcast. Until next time, take care and keep finding the light in every moment.